Cancer, welcome to your mid-April 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I hope it's not too dark. I'm recording this without any natural light. I don't even own ring lights. I didn't know they existed until not so long ago. And it's overcast outside, so that's the perfect storm, or trifecta. But I just, during the day, I don't like to have lights on, if at all possible. So I think sometimes it'll adjust. I guess we'll find out, won't we? I'm recording this on the 11th of April. This is the new moon in Aries. Although it won't be exact in the United States until the evening, until later in the evening. So for people in Europe and beyond, it will be on the 12th. But for Cancer, how I should always say could, not will, like it's a done deal, could impact you. It's a cardinal sign, so it's going to hit your angular house. In this case, and the angular house. In this case, it's going to be your 10th house of career. Ooh. So that could be more opportunities being made available to you. So take advantage of this powerful period by all means. We'll see what the energies represent here. Yeah. I like it. Okay, this one. Yes, I like it. It's funny. I can see, career matters, but also personal matters, which is good. Oh, I'm also going to pick a Lemurian Oracle card from a new deck I have after I'm done. The heart of the matter is the High Priestess. Of course, this can always have a spiritual connotation of the more contemplative side of life, but especially with the High Priestess, it is a knowing. So be still and know. So that can exert a spiritual influence over you in general, but in other matters, because we have the Ten of Swords in the challenge position, in the past position, it can, to me, just in any kind of situation, it can indicate that all may not be as it seems, and that there is something left to be revealed. The Ten of Swords is a card of betrayal. So getting stabbed in the back, metaphorically, of course. I don't even like to say it without saying metaphorically because it's just such a horrible idea. And, when a person gets stabbed in the back, it implies that they were trusting a particular person. It's not just some random knife attack. It's about somebody that you didn't even felt you had to watch your back, and they did that. And that has its own that has its own sad realization attached to it. So if you have had that happen to you and you were like, but I trusted this person, that may, make you feel even more let down. But I would say that the number 10 is the end of a cycle. So it can point to the worst of your situation being over, and now you can move on easier. When you're in the thick of things and it's so in your face, it can certainly be quite disconcerting to experience something like that, because you just feel like, why? After all, I tried to help you and you did this to me. I think that the High Priestess can be good in the sense of looking at it from a higher perspective. Because sometimes, for instance, let's say a family member steals from you. That can feel like a betrayal if you always, made them dinner or, did nice things for them, lent them money. Maybe you find out they have a drug habit. So not to say, oh, well, that's okay then, they have a drug habit, who cares? Of course, it still feels bad, but I'm just saying that it's not because they were trying to deliberately hurt you. And that can ease the pain or the disappointment a little bit. And the same thing applies in the workplace. If you felt like you were promised a promotion and you didn't get what you wanted, and you felt like what do you call it? Like when you're kind of led on by someone, and it can feel very disappointing because it feels like, why are you doing this to me? All I ever did was be a faithful employee, and I'm deserving of this, whatever, this raise or this promotion. I think it's more of a promotion, but that might have a raise attached to it too. So the higher message is the Queen of Wands. Queen represents the water element. We have the water and the fire element. Both of these are emotional in their own way, but the fire element, unlike the water which you represent, the fire element is more, I was going to say take charge, and it's a masculine, so it's more of a take charge kind of an energy. And so how I interpret this is that perhaps there is a silver lining in this situation. First of all, I would say that you are a queen no matter what. So queens represent in society, obviously, the upper echelon. I mean, I'm talking about in a worldly sense, not in reality. And so, when we say queen for a day or something like that, it implies that the person is being honored all day and all that kind of thing. And so this is about your inner royalty, because I'm reading it as a spiritual message, that you don't need those outer labels to make you feel as though you are, in fact, the best of the best. But by the same token, if this is, even if I interpret it in a more mundane way, but with a spiritual twist to it, I would say that what you might have thought was this thing that was a disappointment, it might have a side to it that actually will make your life better. So maybe if you had gotten that position, you would have had to work longer hours. Maybe you're a parent. The queens represent mothers. And actually, the Queen of Wands is the working mother. But how you work is going to depend. And by the way, I realize that some men, even though it's the minority, are watching this as well. And I'm not trying to leave you out. You can be queen for a day yourself. But no, I mean, seriously, the queen represents the water element. So you definitely fall into that as well. And, Cancer males can be just as nurturing, maybe even more so in some cases than Cancer females, depending on other factors in their chart. And it's the nurturing element, not the gender-assigned roles of mother and father that I'm referring to here. That's why I don't care about those labels. To me, they mean nothing, in reality. But you may have been wanting a certain position and feeling betrayed over it. And meanwhile, if you have children, they would have likely suffered in the sense of not having your presence as much as maybe they are going to have now. So there could be like that, wonderful, I was going to say trade-off, but that's not the word I'm looking for, that wonderful result that it represents. And then we have what crosses you as the Five of Pentacles. This is the story of Cancer's life. The Five of Pentacles can be lack consciousness. Cancer is, you're in the warrior wart club. You know, I would say up there with maybe Virgo, and I can't even think of other signs, maybe Pisces. So especially about financial resources, you may be like, how, you know, you represent the area of home and family. How am I going to feather my nest if I don't have this promotion? I just bought a new house, or I just did this. That is working against you, as it always does. Doesn't mean that we don't think about finances. It means that we think about them in an empowering way, rather than a sense that creates this negative charge to it that doesn't assist us on the path of looking at our lives in a very hopeful kind of a way. You know, even if you are like, I mean, this may be this fear of unemployment. You might not be unemployed, but you might fear that there's a kind of a halt to your financial flow, but you may feel uncomfortable working where you do, because you might feel like everybody knows what's going on except you. I think that if something's meant to come out while you're there, it will. In the meantime, work on your self-limiting beliefs, because those can really make you too timid to make choices that are correct for you at this time. The universe may be opening a path for you to take inspired action. Okay. What's coming in is the Empress. This is a very, positive card for money. This is connected to Venus, which is the goddess of love and beauty, but the ruler of the second house of money, but also the ruler of the seventh house of committed partnerships. So it's associated with the signs of Taurus and Libra. It is the Earth Mother archetype. I think it's the Divine Feminine. I'm not quite sure, but I think it is. And I don't know much about the Divine Feminine and Masculine, but as I would imagine that all of the traits that we associate with Cancer, like nurturing, for instance, are filed under that archetype. So the Empress is about the sensual things in life. Now, I know a lot of people are going to get the wrong idea about that. I don't mean necessarily anything sexual. I'm talking about engagement of the senses. With the High Priestess can be going with the flow at this time. So you may know that something's going on beneath the surface, but you're kind of just accepting it. And the High Priestess, and that's like not offering resistance, which is actually a very good strategy, because the Empress can be about abundance and just this, prosperous situation, and even like motherhood is connected to this card. So you may find a way to have everything that you want on your own terms and utilizing your creative gifts. It's a very positive card for the material realm. I don't know if you noticed, I paused this and I turned on one of my lights. It was getting really dark. So the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles, certainly another positive development for you to be able to initiate something. The Empress card can be that if you start a creative project, it can have a very good outcome. And the Ace of Pentacles can be a new job, so or even a windfall of money, something coming to you to jumpstart your life in the world, the earthly sense of the word. These two cards are great for money, but also for your own, maybe your own business and things like that. So if that's something, if this is a relationship issue, being betrayed by a partner can lead to a sense of your own strength and your own, the Empress is about love. I mean, that's one of the big connections with Venus. And so maybe this is rebounding from that type of betrayal for new love to come into your life. And it could be something that has a very lasting effect, maybe with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Okay, now I was almost going to sign off there, but I'm going to pick a Lemurian card. I'm just going to cut the deck. I'm not even trying to shuffle these. They're very, very thick. And I haven't worked with them too much yet, so they're very stuck to each other. Okay, hopefully it'll be different. Good, it's a different card. The Infinite. So, let's see I'm going to read from the booklet because let's see, what number is this? 49. I don't know all these cards yet. So I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read everything that this description says, but some of it. Some of the keywords are the eternal life force, cycles of growth, rising from the ashes, many deaths and rebirths within one's life. You are so much more than your physical body. Well, I'm just going to read you, since this is the Lemurian deck, you might find this a little bit interesting if you've had any kind of connection to Lemuria. The beings in Lemuria are said to have lived for many hundreds of years. As they were only partially incarnated, their bodies were much lighter, less physically actualized, and less affected by aging. They were also aware of their infinite nature. The Lemurians were multidimensional beings and regularly traversed realms other than the physical, including the places before and after quote-unquote death. As we become aware that we are so much more than our physical bodies, we may experience a sense of the eternal. Thus, fear around death gives way to recognizing new beginnings, so we remember what is real and focus on what we wish for this life. Whatever we believe will happen when our body goes back to the earth, we can live to the fullest while we are here in this incarnation. And really, that's kind of like the more, what I would call the more spiritual description of the Empress card, because I was talking about the senses, and I think I was kind of touching upon that idea. I think it was Abraham Hicks who said something like, you're here, you incarnated here in the physical form, in the material world, something to that effect, meaning that, how sometimes yogis will go into caves and they'll just spend hours, maybe most of their time meditating. You can make the argument that, what is the point if they're trying to escape the material world when they were put here? I guess there are some schools of thought that this is almost like a punishment for us, being attached to the world, that we have to come back here. But I don't subscribe to those beliefs anymore. I really don't. So, I mean, you're entitled to your beliefs. I believe that we're here to work with the material energy. But, some people are overly indulgent. Some people are in denial. And, both of those seem like extremes to me. Okay, the divinatory meaning. This card of rebirth can appear after challenges that have required a level of surrender. You have arrived at a beginning. Revel in your newfound inner freedom. Blockages have fallen away, doors are opening, and there are opportunities to step into. I'm sorry, I'm kind of still in a shadow. Stretch your wings and see how far they can reach. Rise from the ashes like a phoenix, born anew, ready for a new cycle of growth. Boy, do I wish I would have gotten the Judgment card, then I could really tie it into that. Celebrate, honor the road that brought you here, and prepare to take flight with the tools you have gathered through your elevation process. And by the way, a couple of things that are happening for Cancer specifically, astrologically, that can really be in alignment with that particular card is Neptune is in its own sign of Pisces, but this is not new. It's been going on for about a decade. And since it's a fellow water sign that is before you, in other words, it's the last, if you just think of the chart as an endless circle, it's the water sign before you. And so that's the 9th house. And so that represents the God particle. Is that what it is? But it represents that kind of area of life. And Neptune infuses it as a transit with all of this mysticism, otherworldly kinds of things. Because, you could look at the 9th house as the organized religion, and sometimes they seem very worldly a lot of times. And, I don't want to, get into if they took things out of the Bible that were mystical and these kinds of things that kind of took that element out of it. But whatever happened, and not just picking on Christianity either, but the dogma, the do's and don'ts, that can make things very kind of like worldly laws and all this kind of stuff. And the mystical part, the high priestess, the unknown, the mysterious, that kind of thing, infusing your spiritual life with that. And you have the North Node transiting your 12th house in Gemini. That's still going on, and you're going to have a new moon here in June. That's actually a solar eclipse. So, maybe that's kind of what they're talking about. So maybe you've gone through some spiritual growth already, Cancer. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading and work with me, you can check the link below. I'm primarily an astrologer, can you tell? I'm always talking about astrology. And I have some double readings that I'm promoting simply because I think that they're a good value in terms of price and of the greater depth that they offer. Please check me out at the link below. I'm at rainandmoonastrology.com. Thanks for watching, Cancer. Take care. Bye.